Welcome to the LVC Sports Corner. I'm Dan Callahan.
And I'm Leo Kyte.
And today we'll be discussing Lebanon Valley's postseason sports teams this academic year and how well they fared. Leo, let's start off with your football team. How did they do?
Football team had a pretty good year. We finished 8-3, 5-3 in the MAC. We won our bowl game against St. Vincent and the ECAC Southwest Bowl. Had a few all-conference players, and Ben Giles was named All-American. Had a chance to sit down with head coach Jim Monis, and let's see what he had to say about it. Just comment on the 2011 season. How do you think it went overall compared to our expectations going in?
The expectations going in were a concern. Wasn't sure where we were, knew we had a good chemistry going into the season, and felt like we had the makings of a good football team. What ended up happening was that the chemistry was outstanding on our football team. The performance of the team in all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, came true and ended up winning 8 football games. To me, winning the ECAC Southwest Bowl was the culmination. Well, the first thing you have to understand is you never replace Ben Giles. Ben Giles is the all-time leading rusher in the history of the school. Not going to find another guy like him.
What does the outlook for the 2012 season look like as of now?
Really excited about this football team. The fact that somebody who's the all-time leading rusher graduates, our quarterback has a great year, sets 2 school records, win an ECAC championship, and people are saying, well, what are you going to do? Well, coming out of spring, what I found with this football team so far, chemistry is good. We have the ability to be a very good football team. Spring football proved that. What happens between now and August will be the difference, because, as I will say to the team next week in our team meeting, there's got to be a sense of urgency with our schedule in September. 5 games in September, 4 of them are league games, and all of them are going to be big if we want to accomplish the goal that has been set by our football team.
Another excellent year for an LVC sports team came from the field hockey team, who finished 17-5 this year. They beat Alvernia in the ECAC championship after they lost to them in the conference title. So that was good that they came back and they beat them there. And star player Jocelyn Novak came back for her 4th star season as their senior captain and leader this year. She brought a lot of honors back to Annville. She was the D3 all-time leader this year. She became the all-time leader in the records book with points and goals with 141 and 300. She was the first team All-American, the CC Player of the Year, and even made the MAC Academic Honor Roll. Well, Leo, I know that both soccer teams did very well this year. They had pretty good seasons. One of them made it to NCAAs. Do you want to comment on that?
Yep. Both teams did very well. The guys' team, they lost a tough one in the conference championship to Alvernia by 1 goal, and they fell in the first round of the ECAC championship to Marywood in a shootout. As for the women, they lost in the conference championship to #1 ranked Messiah before getting an NCAA bid. They fell in the first round of Case Western Reserve, but they did finish 13-6-3. The women's soccer team wasn't the only team to make it to NCAAs. The girls basketball team made it back again. Tyler, you can talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, the women's team had a great year. They finished 26-4. They made it all the way to the NCAA Sweet 16 round. They fell to undefeated Mary Washington University. They did win their 2nd consecutive conference title over Widener. So it was another great year for women's basketball. In an interview with John Engelbert with the Getting to Know Your Dutchman LVC segment, he interviewed some players, and here's what they had to say.
Well, as a team, I think we surprised a lot of people, and I don't know, there's just a lot of pressure almost coming off of last year's season and graduating Hoover and Susie. It was just kind of up in the air, like, what are we going to do this year? So I think we put a lot of people wrong, and I don't know, I think it's been a lot of fun as a team.
Yeah, I don't know. No one really thought we were supposed to be back in the championship game. We were picked 3rd, I think, in our conference to finish. So, like, winning it all was kind of nice.
Leo, would you like to explain how a volleyball team did this year?
The women's volleyball team had another excellent season. They won their 4th straight conference championship, defeating Messiah in the championship match. They did lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament, but it was still a great season. They finished 22-10. Senior Jamie Hawk was the ECAC Player of the Year, as well as the D3 All-American Honorable Mention.
We have a lot of other accomplished LVC sports teams that we haven't touched on yet. Leo, would you like to talk about a few of them?
Yep, the women's track and field team won their first ever MAC indoor title, as well as freshman swimmer Jan Akita won the MAC championships of the 100 and 200 meter butterfly. She's the first LVC women's swimmer to do so.
Okay, and not only did those teams do great, but there's a lot of teams still in progress playing here in the spring that are doing very well, that will probably have postseason runs that we will not be able to talk about before schools end here. But the women's tennis team and the men's tennis team both only have a few losses each. Both lacrosse teams are having great seasons. Men's lacrosse is probably having one of the better seasons in the modern era, since they had that break before they cut lacrosse from a while ago, and then they have it back. There's also women's softball, who will probably finish well over 500. They're probably about 10, 12 games over 500 right now. We'll probably see a lot of those teams go into conference play and postseason after their conference play. We'll see how far they get when their seasons are done.
Yep. All right, this has been LVC Sports Corner. I'm Leo Kyte.
I'm Dan Callahan. Thanks for watching.